difficult for them. Hopefully they don't fall flat on this, honestly, because think about it, people have literally been living on the MCU as far as going to see movies every year and everything. People have been living on this for 10 years, so if this was to fall flat, I honestly don't know how how could you recover from that?
They'll recover. They'll be fine. They have Spider-Man coming out. They have, all these movies coming out later
Think about
in
it,
the
though.
year.
Let's say this is the ultimate letdown. Let's say this movie is just basically like a clickbait equivalent of a movie. What would you do?
I'd riot. I'd go into the theater and be like, I want my money back.
I mean, I don't know.
Franchises recover from, poor movies. I mean, just look at Star Wars. They had 3 prequels that were garbage. Although, I don't mind Episode 3, but, when A Force Awakens came out, you just took some time off and, you reestablished the franchise, bring back some old characters, and they made a ton of money. It's one of the most successful movies ever.
Yeah. Well, where do you think this is going to land?
As far as box office goes,
yeah,
this will be huge. The thing is, inflation is so crazy because I was actually looking at a list of movies, with inflation. Black Panther's not even in the top 30 if you're counting inflation.
Really?
Yeah. So number 1 is actually Gone with the Wind. It would be like close to $2 billion if you used inflation.
Really?
I think this movie, one of the few movies, with the inflation that surprised me was Star Wars: The Force Awakens, and the inflation's so little because it only came out a few years ago, and that's in the top 10. So I think this has a big chance to be in the top 10 of all time.
I was saying this. I think this might rival the top 3.
I'm talking about with inflation. It's not gonna. No movie will ever beat Gone with the Wind as far as money goes if you're counting inflation. Just because the money, it's so much higher. It's like a $2 billion gross. So I think
what's number 2? Probably like Avatar.
No, because Avatar, again, the tickets were so much money. It's in like the top 15. I'll get the actual list. I think this movie, if you just with not counting inflation, will be in the top 3 of all time.
Yeah,
I think it's going to be behind Avatar and Titanic. I could very well see it being the 3rd highest grossing movie ever, especially if it gets those good reviews.
Yeah, no, this movie's supposed to be unbelievable. I can't wait. I am so excited for this movie, man. And
you better get good night's sleep on Wednesday.
Yeah.
You fall asleep in this movie, I'm going to slap you. I'm going to give you a Ric Flair chop to the chest.
I'm not falling asleep during this movie. I might fall asleep on the morning show following it, but I won't fall asleep during the movie.
They'll understand.
Yeah, that's fine.
They'll understand about that.
All right, so I got the worldwide gross of highest grossing movies. Adjusted for. Oh, we'll do the highest grossing movies without inflation. So the worldwide gross, number 1 is Avatar with $2 billion, 700. I can't even say the number. It's a lot. Then after that's
a lot of money.
Titanic. So Cameron's got 1 and 2, and Avatar has a huge lead over Titanic. And number 3 is Star Wars: Force Awakens. Number 4 is Jurassic World. Number 5 is Avengers. Number 6 is Furious 7. Number 7 is Avengers: Age of Ultron. Number 8 is Harry Potter and the Deathly Hallows Part 2. Number 9 is Star Wars: The Last Jedi. And number 10 is Black Panther. So that's the top 10 highest grossing movies of all time. Now, none of these will be even close if we go to the next list, which is highest grossing films adjusted for inflation. So obviously, movies only cost, 25 cents back in the day. So this is kind of saying the tickets sold and the amount of people that really saw the movie if they adjusted the price. So Gone with the Wind, its worldwide gross is $3.5 billion. Avatar's actually number 2. Its adjusted gross is over $3 billion.
Yeah, I knew that was going to be up
Number
there.
3 is the original Star Wars, which is like $2.8 billion.
Really? That's a lot higher than I thought it would be.
Because everyone wants to see Star Wars. That's why none of these... I'm surprised Avatar is here, because all the other movies are so old. That just shows you how big Avatar really was.
Is Jaws on there?
Jaws is number 9, yes. Ooh. Number 4 is Titanic, which was huge. I saw that in theaters. Number 5 is The Sound of Music with $2.3 million. Number 6 is E.T. the Extraterrestrial with $2.3 billion. Number 7 is The Ten Commandments with $2.1. This is the one I'd never heard of, Dr. Zhivago. was number 8 with around
Dr.
2 million.
Zhivago?
Yeah, I don't know what it is.
I think I've seen that movie.
And number 9
it
is
was for
Jaws, and number 10 is Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs. So it just goes to show you, these movies that are making a ton of money, it costs, $14 to see a movie these days. So, they're not as popular as the movies I just listed. But it's still impressive that Avatar is one of those movies that is up there with the likes of, with Jaws and E.T. and Jurassic Park and
Well, I
stuff.
thought it would have been because that movie was in theaters even until the DVD release came out.
It was big, man.
And the DVD release was like, that was before they only waited like 3 months before they put it out on DVD.
Yeah.
That was like you waited a year for the DVD to come out. Mm-hmm. And you waited a year, and they were like, DVD's now out. But don't forget, it's still in theaters. Like, that movie was out
movies you
forever.
had to see in theaters. I like Avatar. A lot of people poo-poo on it, but I think it's a fun. It's generic. I'll give it that, but I enjoy it. I think the special effects are great. Poo-poo.
Yeah.
Poo-poo. Well, a lot of people do that to the movie, and I think it's unfair.
Did they really? I thought people overhyped or gave it credit.
Not if you talk to people now. I think, they're like, oh, it's just a ripoff of Dances with Wolves and Pocahontas. What isn't a ripoff of anything? Everything's a ripoff of
Pocahontas?
something. Yeah.
Yeah, I could see where they're getting that.
And Fern Gully, too, they always say.
I could see Dances with Wolves, but Pocahontas.
I don't know. It's the white man taking over.
It's like a colonizer falling in love with the colonized,
And that's
probably where they're getting that from.
That's loose.
Yeah, their muscles got to feel great after that one because that's a stretch.
They're stretching on that one. I get Dances with Wolves, absolutely, but ooh.
Yeah, and Cameron was actually just talking about the MCU and all the superhero movies, and I do agree with him. He thinks, it's too much. There's 3 or 4 Marvel movies each year, and it's just oversaturating, and I'm not as hyped as I once was for all these movies. Imagine if there was only like an Avengers movie once every 4 or 5 years. I would be so looking forward to this movie right now, but now it's just... listen, I'm very excited for it, but again, it's just another Marvel movie. There's just one of them 2 months ago, Black Panther was out.
Right, you're not like bidding at the chance to go see this movie. You're like, all right, it's just one of their yearly 4 movies or 3 movies.
Exactly. So back in the day, when Spider-Man 2 came out, or the first Spider-Man, I was so hyped for that.
Or Fantastic Four.
Even as sad as that sounds, of course, I was so looking forward to Fantastic Four and Fantastic Four 2. And those movies are terrible.
Yeah.
Rise of the Silver Surfer.
Yeah.
But the amount of time that you waited to see those movies kind of I feel like it boosted the quality in your mind of those movies.
Yes.
I agree with you. There's a lot of stuff. Even games are doing that nowadays. There's not enough time in between DLC releases, and there's a lot of stuff being given to these games that people just can't pay for. Like Breath of the Wild. Breath of the Wild's DLC packs released right on top of each other.
Yeah.
They were $20 a pop. So it's just come on, guys.
It's like a whole new game, $40 basically.
Yeah, but while it added a lot of new content, it didn't even give people a chance to finish what they already bought.
Yeah.
So, and it's games like that are just coming out like crazy nowadays.
Yeah. Well, final thoughts on the event. Well, I want to say this real quick. The Spider-Man sequel is going to shoot over in Europe, which I think is cool because, you always see Spider-Man in the same setting. It's always New York City. And I think him, whether it's on the Eiffel Tower or the Leaning Tower of Pizza.
Wouldn't it be funny if they had him...
He fixes.
Are you not going to fix what he just said?
Yeah, no, I'm just going to let it happen. It won't be the
Leaning Tower of Pizza anymore because he's going to straighten it.
No, but what would be really funny? Could you imagine if he swings at the top of it?
Yeah.
And
he fixed it,
and he leans the tower up, and then everyone gets mad at him, and then whoever's chasing him hits the tower and it leans the other way, and they all start cheering.
I think that'd be good in a Lego Spider-Man movie.
Oh yeah, that'd be so good.
Lego, if you're listening.
Okay, I'm gonna come out and say I love the Lego DC stuff.
And say, okay, got it.
I love the Lego comic book movie stuff. Listen, it's 2018. I do what I want. So, talking about Spider-Man, with the whole... Anyway, I love the Lego superhero adaptations.
Every Lego game is so good. Are you talking
They're
about the games?
so funny. The games and the movies, too.
Yeah.
Like,
the Lego Batman movie was really good.
It was incredible.
Yeah.
Like, I had so much fun with that movie.
Probably the best DC movie in the last 20 years.
Which is so bad. And DC really didn't even make that. It was the Lego studio that did. And, just... Guys, Lego's killing it. They are absolutely killing it.
Well, you know who made the original Lego movie?
The Russo brothers.
The Russo brothers, who are making Infinity War.
It all comes full circle. So I need last predictions. I think.
You think we're going to see a little Lego shout
Lego Batman shows
Possibly.
up. Lego Batman
funny.
shows up in Infinity War.
Any last thoughts? Any predictions? Who you got dying?
not Chris Evans. Well, obviously, it's Captain America.
I got Chris Evans dying. You mean Captain America? No.
I think he dies on set. Oh my god, that'd be awful. But that's just whoever pops into my head. Yeah, Captain America. I think he's done.
That just shows you how much of these characters these guys have literally become.
Yeah. Also, I was watching Scott Pilgrim versus the World, and Chris Evans is actually in that movie. He's the skater Evil X. He's the actor.
It's funny to see these guys in their roles before they made it big. He was also in the movie Not Another Teen Movie, which is a hilarious film.
He was in Fantastic Four.
Yes, as a Human Torch.
I think this is Marvel's 2 for 2 on redeeming the.
Well, you were right. You were right.
I was right. Redeeming the Human Torches.
Yes.
So.
Now they just need the other one from the 1994 movie that nobody saw.
There was one in 1994 that nobody saw.
If nobody saw, if Marvel made a movie and no one was around to watch it, do they really need to redeem it?
I'll tell you about it real quick because we got 2 minutes. So basically, 20th Century Fox. This other company had the rights to the Fantastic Four, and they needed to make a movie, or else they would lose the rights. So essentially, they made a movie, knowing that it wasn't going to be released because there was some sort of thing in their contract as if they made the movie, they would keep the rights. So they just made it. They never released it except in Brazil. And you could actually find it on bootleg. It's never been officially released by Marvel, and there's actually a really cool documentary on it. It's called Doomed, the story of Roger Corman's Fantastic Four movie. And these actors, they give it their all because they didn't know this was being made just to not be released. So, they're giving it their all.
Oh, that's so sad.
Yeah, it's sad. So the documentary kind of, tells a really cool story about this. And, they put their heart and soul into it. And, has the horrible special effects, but it's got charm to it. So check it out. You can watch the movie on YouTube. Unfortunately, it's horrible release because Marvel just won't release it for some reason.
Is it terrible?
It's not good, but it's better. It's probably the best Fantastic Four movie there is.
Oh.
But check out the documentary. It's on, Hulu and Amazon Prime. It's called Doomed, the story of the Fantastic Four, or Roger Corman's Fantastic Four.
Well,
so check it out.
If it's the best of the Fantastic Fours, a polished poo-poo is still a poo-poo.
Yes,
so,
poo-poo. And that's going to end it.
Yeah,
this is the end of Nerdvana for today.
Yeah.
Next week, though, we'll have the full review. All 3 of us will see the movie, so we'll give our full review on The Avengers Infinity War. For Colton Murray and Joe Ritter, I'm Justin Greenberg, and we are out of here.
Later.
Peace.